Hey, you guys. So, look, let me ask you this question. Does healing frequency music work? Does healing work? Does healing hurt? Does frantic healing work? Does Reiki healing work? Does energy healing work? What does healing look like? So, if you have searched any of those topics, because those are the first couple of topics that come up when it talks about does healing work, then guess what? You're in the right place. I want you to sit tight and I'm going to talk about what actually works. So, if you guys are new to the YouTube channel, my name is Cheryl Mazik, and I help women to heal from trauma from the inside out with workbooks, online courses, events, community, and all natural health and wellness products, you guys. And so, I can answer the question, one of these questions, I can absolutely answer with no problem. Okay. So healing does work. When you take the time to be intentional about doing the healing work, it works, right? So the answer to those other questions, does healing frequency music work? Does healing frantic healing work? I'm sorry, does pranic healing work? Does Reiki healing work? Does energy healing work? I have absolutely no idea if those things help you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But what I do know is when you utilize the principles of the Word of God, right, and some tools, biblical tools, and doing the work intentionally, getting a coach to help you on the journey, healing does work. You guys, I don't do all of those new age things or any of those things that I talked about. What I do is I help women to heal from trauma by using biblical principles from the Word of God and some tools that I have created with my own personal journey. You guys, I am a wife of one on 19 years. We've been together, but we've been married, I want to say about 14 years. And I am a mother of five. I am a full time entrepreneur. I was a teen mom, you guys, and I had lots of things that I had to heal from on this journey called life. Okay. And so I have been through some things and life experiences. It also helps me to do the work on healing. Okay. So we're going to talk about it, and one of the questions was, what does healing look like? So healing looks like you being at a point and being aware that you have something to heal from. So let me just give you a little bit of my story and my experiences when it comes to healing. So when I started my healing journey, I was at a place of brokenness, okay? And brokenness as a woman, as a mommy, as a wife, I was just in a place of brokenness. All of the traumatic things that had happened in my life and never been able to really do the intentional work to heal from those things. And I found myself crying at night, like, God, I don't want to be in this place anymore. How did I get here? Right? I'm tired of being in a broken state of mind. I'm tired of being overweight. I'm tired of just all of the negative things constantly flowing in my mind. That's how I'm feeling at nighttime. But in the daytime, I'm still smiling. I'm still operating as the happy go lucky person that I am, right? But on the inside, I was so broken and just at a place where I needed to change. I needed to do something to help me love me again. I was at a point when I looked in the mirror and I didn't recognize who I was looking at. I knew it was me, right? But it wasn't me. It wasn't the happy me. It wasn't the joyful me. It wasn't the me that loved life right to the fullest. And I knew something needed to change. I actually started and I went to therapy. Okay. I went to therapy. I sat on the couch and I talked to somebody that can help me along the journey. I went to therapy for a little while, but after that, I started to do some things on my own, right? Some things that I talk about that I help with my coaching clients to help them on their journey, and things like journaling. Journaling is just so instrumental on your healing journey, and lots of questions, right? asking thought provoking questions on that journey, it really helps you to bring out that thing, to bring out the lies that you create in your head from the different experiences that you may have went through, and things that you've told yourself to suppress some of the things that you went through in life. So just to give you guys a little example of some of the life traumas that I've experienced is one, a teen mom. I had my first child at the age of 15, y'all. I was pregnant at 14. 15 years old, bringing life into the world, and I'm still a child myself. So much just really went into that whole process, and I didn't even think about it while I was going through, right? But as I was on this journey of, figuring out why I was in this place where I was searching for more, and I had to go back to those broken places, those places where I was in a broken state and didn't realize I was in a broken state, right? It's a lot being a teen mom. You're still a kid yourself. Now you bringing life into the world, right? Scared, don't know what to do, don't know how to feel, right? And so, as a 15-year-old having a baby, one, I was still a child myself, and my mother was a single parent. So the burden that was added to the household, I didn't understand the ramifications of that type of burden that was being added to the household. My mom was already, working 2 to 3 jobs to make sure that we had, myself and my brother, we didn't lack anything. But now I've added another response. I'm sorry, over talking myself, right? And I'm gonna leave this here because when you heal, you understand that it doesn't matter what other people think about you. You're gonna continue to do what you are called to do, no matter if you make a mistake or not, right? So adding money obligations to the household, I didn't understand it. I was a child, right? I didn't understand that. I didn't understand how money worked. I didn't understand how bills work as a child. I was just out there doing things to fulfill the things that I thought I needed to fulfill, right? When it comes to having sex and being out there as a 15-year-old, and that happened, right? And now I've added more burden to my mother, not realizing the trauma that it's bringing to her as well, right? So that's one of the things that I had to heal from. And when I go back and think about it, I'm like, that was something major, you know, and I apologized to my mom as a child. I actually wrote her a letter and I apologized to her, from because I felt like I disappointed her, right? Which I did. I disappointed myself. But what I had to realize too is, God would not put more on you than you can bear. But I turned that situation into what was something traumatic. It turned to something that was truly a blessing for me because my daughter was really a blessing for me. It was a blessing for me to grow up. It was a blessing for me to come out of what I was doing, right? It was a blessing for me to understand what my line of purpose was. Remember, I told y'all the name of my company is called Ladies of Faith Over Fear. And so that was the first act that I had to really either choose fear or choose faith, right? And I chose faith. I chose to step out on faith, to trust in God that He would guide me on this journey, even though I don't know what it's going to look like, right? I don't know if it's going to be a hard road or an easy road, right? But I was going to trust God, and she was the best thing that ever happened to me, right? And so that was one of the experiences I had to heal from. I had daddy issues, y'all. How many people have daddy issues? If you had daddy issues, put it in the comments, okay? I had daddy issues. My father was not there when I grew up. He was there periodically, but him and my mom, they separated, then they divorced, and he just didn't show up when he said he was going to show up in some moments, right? And I also want to put this out there. Me and my dad, now we have grown the best relationship in my adult years, but as a child, he wasn't there, right? Life was lifing for him. And as you grow up and you start to heal, you understand that our parents go through different things. They're on the same journey that you're probably on right now, trying to figure things out. They were on those journey. They were on their journey, right? When you were growing up. And so they were fighting demons that we didn't even know about. And so I give him grace, right? I've forgiven him. We've taken those time to talk about those different things. I was so hurt in my 20s. I was bold enough to tell my dad, you was just a sperm donor, right? You wasn't there. It was my mom that was there. It was my mom that was there, helping me when I was hurting through things. It was my mom that was there when I was sick from work and she had, I mean, sick at school and she had to come and pick me up. It was my mom that was there that brought me my first car and did these things, right? And so I was a hurt little girl operating as a grown woman. And so I needed to heal from that. So many women to this day are still in a broken state with their relationship, whether it's a father or a mom, right? You got to heal from that. And you got to come out of that. Okay. Okay. Another thing that I heal from mommy issues. So even though I had the best mother in the world and she's no longer here, she transitioned in 2021. Um, I had some things that I had to deal with. I just thought I wasn't good enough for her, right? She was one of those women that she just wanted me to be the best. She wanted me to show up the best. She wanted me to do more than what she did, right? To show up in that person that she knew I was, right? And I just thought that she was just controlling. She had that controlling spirit, and so that was something I had to work out in the therapist's office. When I went to therapy, it was one of the things that I realized that I was dealing with, right? Not being good enough for her. But at that point, I had accomplished so much in the natural. And I'm like, well, what more do you want from me, woman? Okay. But I had to realize that I was successful in my own right and understand that she loved me. She just showed it in a different manner when it comes to that, right? Being able to be successful, being able to do all of the things that she thought that I should do. Okay. So I had to heal from that. Loved, loved, loved my mother to this day, and I wish she was here. I would give anything for her to be here again. Right. And so I had mommy issues. Uh, how many people had mommy issues? Put it in the comments. Okay. Another thing that I had, type of issue I had, was my mindset on me not being worthy because of infidelity. Okay. So I experienced infidelity in multiple relationships. And because I experienced infidelity in multiple relationships, I was like, well, what is the problem? Okay. What am I not doing? Or what is it? But what I realized is it wasn't me, right? I wasn't the problem. The person I was in a relationship with, they had things that they needed to deal with, right? Whether it's their childhood trauma, whether it was past relationships. And that was a way that they coped to deal with the thing that they were, the issue that they had, right? And that was their coping mechanism. Sex, going outside of your that current relationship to go with somebody else to have them fulfill that need, that want, or that desire in that moment. When you go through the healing work, you understand it's not you that is the issue when it comes to infidelity. If you've been one of those people where people are constantly cheating on you, because this is the thing too, when you don't do the healing work, when you do not do the work to heal, then you are going to continue to attract the same person over and over in a different body because you attract what you are. If you're broken, you're going to attract broken because you don't know your worth. So you're going to attract and allow anything in that broken state of mind. Okay. So I had to heal from that to understand that I am worthy. I'm worthy to be loved. I'm worthy to build with. I'm worthy to do everything that God has called me to do. And I had to understand that and start to love on me. Okay. So I had to heal from that. I had to heal from grief, right? So before I go to grief, anybody have been cheated on before and need to do some healing work when it comes to infidelity, drop it in the comments. Okay. The next thing is grief. I had to heal from grief. I just told you guys, my mother transitioned. And that was one of the hardest things that I ever had to go through is to watch my mom be a full, active, vibrant person one day, and then 30 days later, she's dead. Like to go through the stages in 30 days was mind blowing. Okay. So in 2021, my mother, we decided to go on a family trip, a family vacation. I don't know, it just came out of nowhere. I guess it was just the Holy Spirit unctioning us to do something, because something was about to happen. And that was in July. So we went to New Orleans, we went to the aquarium, we went to the zoo. We went and just spent time together, my mother, my brother, his family, and my family. Okay. And so we were in New Orleans having an amazing time. But as we were there, I did notice some things. I noticed that my mom was going to bed a little earlier. She always was a night owl. She would stay up to about 12:30, 1 o'clock, go to bed, and be up for work at 5 o'clock. Clockwork. That's what she did for years. And, I was just looking at her and just noticing different things. And I'm like, something is up, and I don't know what is up, but something is not right. Okay. And so that was July 4th weekend. August 1st, I get a phone call from my brother, and he was like, something's wrong with mom. She went to the aftercare and they sent her home. They thought that maybe she had a stroke or something. They sent her home and told her to go to an emergency room. And he took her to the emergency room. And when she went there, first they thought it was brain cancer. And then we come to find out it wasn't brain cancer, it was lung cancer that was starting to spread. Okay. Stage 4 lung cancer. She smoked cigarettes for all of my life. When she passed away, I think I was 39. So she smoked cigarettes since for 39 years. I'm quite sure, plus because she was doing it before I came, I'm sure. And then she also would drink alcohol, which was beer. Budweiser was her choice of beer, and then she moved from Budweiser to Bud Light, right? And I'm not saying this to say any negative light of my mother, but I'm just giving you ramifications of what that looked like. Okay. And so, because of doing those type of habits over the years, it took a toll on her body, and she transitioned. She died 30 days later. That was the hardest thing ever to have to go through. One, being a caregiver. I wasn't her full-time caregiver. My brother was, because he lived in Louisiana. He lived with her, but I was there for at least 2.5 out of that month time, because I told my job I got to go. My mom is transitioning. And I left. I left work. I worked from home at that time. And I was like, I gotta go. And I didn't know what it looked like with me coming back. And to God be the glory, he had everything where I was able to get paid during that time, and I still had my job afterwards. Okay. And so watching her being a strong person, and going from being the strong, independent woman to being in a place of one denial, because she went through the denial process of, like, I got cancer. What you mean I got cancer? She didn't want to come into, that place of, this is what I'm dealing with. Okay. This is what the doctors say my diagnosis is. And that she was in a place of transitioning. And so she knew it. And it was hard to watch it. It was moments where it's like you're trying to help her, and trying to, like, walking her and helping her to, because she went from being strong to very weak and very frail and couldn't do anything, right? She used to care for other people, and now she has have to have people to care for her. She was angry, she was pissed. And to watch that was hard. It was one of the hardest things ever to have to go through. And I had to heal from that. And after she died, I really went through a place of processing all of it, processing life, processing the process of, watching her be a strong woman to transitioning out of this world. It taught me two things for certain. Number one, having a relationship with God is so important. Jesus Christ, Yahweh, Yeshua, the one and only living true God, right? Because as she was on her deathbed, right before she transitioned, probably about maybe an hour or so before she transitioned, she couldn't even really say anything, but she mustered up the words, "Help me, Jesus." And literally about an hour later, she transitioned. And because she knew God, that's all she knew that can help her in that moment. It didn't matter of the vehicles that she had. It didn't matter of the clothes that she had. It didn't matter of any of the material things, the house, the cars, any of those things, the money. None of those things mattered in that moment. The only thing that mattered was her relationship with God. That's what mattered. Okay. She knew who she was in Christ. That's what mattered. And number two, her life. Like I went back and looked like, what did she do to really help her go through her life experiences? Because she experienced traumas, but we didn't really talk about that. Those are some of the things I wish I could actually go back and have conversations with her about the traumas that she experienced from a little girl to a grown woman. Now that she's passed, I've heard different things that happen in life, right? But I would love to have heard those. And I didn't see where she actually, took the time for herself, took the time to love on her, took the time to pour into Patricia Parker, took the time to love her from the inside out. I didn't see that. The things that she did to chose to help her with the stresses that she dealt with was the cigarettes and the beer. Those are the things that she said that she wanted to do to help calm her nerves, to put her in a place of calmness. But those very things that she used to put her in a place of calmness were the things that took her out of this world. And it took her out early, because the things that you do to your body, it matters. That's a part of healing. That's a part of health. And so, does healing work? It does work. Your lifestyle, the things that you do in lifestyle, it matters. And so everything that I learned from my mom, she taught me so much. I wouldn't be the woman I am today if it wasn't for her. And I'm so thankful and grateful for her. And so I'm so adamant about really helping women to heal, because I don't want them to be that person that transitioned early, because they never took the time to heal. They never took the time to understand what healing is, what it looks like, right? How to do it. Women in her age bracket, and even my age bracket, right? They didn't have a place to heal. They didn't have a space to heal. What do you mean, Cheryl, when you say that? What I mean is my mom was 60 when she passed, right? So she was born in, oh my God, 61. She was born in 1961, right? I'm sorry, I had to think about that. And so people born in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, we didn't have a place to heal. Like, healing is something new over the last couple of years. We didn't have a place for that. Well, if we went through something, we were depressed. What you depressed about? You ain't got nothing to be depressed about. That's what we heard, right? Shut up, suck it up, keep going, keep moving, right? Oh, we're not gonna talk about that. What happens in this house stays in this house. What happened over there stays over there, right? We're not gonna talk about any of those things. That's what we were told. That's what they were told. They didn't have space for that. And so they had to deal with it. And a lot of people that dealt with it, right? Some people got on drugs. Some people became very promiscuous. And I might have said that word wrong. Like, sometimes I speak right, and sometimes the little country come out, right? But they found sex as the way out for them to be able to deal with those emotions, right? And alcoholism, different things, but not healthy things, to help them to be able to move past the trauma and start to heal the broken little girl on the inside. And so I know the importance of that. Healing works, it helps. Because guess what? If I wouldn't have done the work to heal the broken Cheryl on the inside, this Cheryl wouldn't have been able to emerge. And so, even as a wife, even as a mommy, even as a grandmother, I still had to heal. Because if not, I will bleed on our children. I will show my children indirectly to suppress. I will show my children indirectly, this is what it looks like when you're not worthy. You will allow and accept anything in any relationship. And I decided that it stops with me. I decided that I will break that generational curse of no longer being able to be in a place of brokenness, but be in a place of healing. So, does healing work? Absolutely. It works when you do the work. What does healing look like? Healing look like one, awareness, becoming aware that you have something that you need to heal from. That's number one. Number two, what does healing look like? Healing look like, hey, if I don't know what to do, let me find some resources to help me on this journey. You're doing the first thing by researching and looking and trying to see what to do. There are lots of workbooks. There's lots of self-paced things, workbooks, digital courses. I have both of those, right? You can click the link in my bio and you can try out my healing 30-day guide. I actually have one right here. This is what it looks like. This is one of the self-paced ways where you can start to do the healing work. It's the 30-day journal of everything that I did to heal from those things that we talked about. Okay. The next thing is my digital 3-day course. That's where you're going to have live videos, 3 days of me breaking those things down to you, talking about, what does it look like doing the actual work. It's still self-paced, but you also have a workbook that's attached to that 3-day digital course where you can actually get some work done. You're going to have the videos to talk with you. Okay. That's the difference from the book versus the videos. Okay. The next thing that I have is my 6-week course. The 6-week course is where it's group coaching. It's group coaching where we come together for 6 weeks, you and other women that are just like you on this journey. We break down those different things. We go through different phases of your life. We go through all of the different motions, all of the different experiences, and we do the work to address it, to heal it, to release it, okay, in a healthy manner. All right. That 6-week course also come with 1 week where you have a one-on-one, a personal one-on-one with me, and that's at the end of that 6-week time frame to really address whatever it is that you would like to address personally, okay, and to help you on your journey as you move forward. So healing works, but you have to be aware. You have to make the decision that I don't want to stay in this place. I want to heal. I want to thrive. I want to operate in what God has called me to operate in, because that's where I was, y'all. I was broken. I was like, God, it has to be something more than this, what I'm living in life right now. It has to be more. I'm tired of the brokenness. I'm tired of the same in and out thing, right? Getting up every single day doing the same thing over and over and not operating in purpose. Like, what is my purpose, God? I had to have those conversations. And so, guess what? God shared with me that my purpose was to operate in healing. That's part of my purpose. Because that's definitely one of those conversations that I had with God after my mom died. I was back in another broken place. Like, okay, God, why you took my mom? I know we all got to check out of here one day, but why her? All of these moms in the world, why you got to take my mama? And why now? And God was like, it's her time to go. And it's my time to operate it in purpose, to operate in purpose. And my purpose is to help you, Queen, help you do the work. So now the question is, are you willing to invest in yourself to come out of the place where you are now, brokenness? Stop acting as that broken little girl on the inside, but a full grown woman on the outside, and really transform to be that full grown woman, that heal, whole queen that you are. It's possible. Healing is possible when you do the work, when you utilize tools like the Bible, when you utilize coaches like myself, right? And when you really be honest with yourself. Because guess what? It's not going to work if you don't be honest. If you're going to just sit here and lie to yourself and continue to lie to yourself and not do the work, then guess what? You will not get the results that you're looking for. But if you're looking for somebody that can be honest with you, that can hold you accountable, They can help you because guess what? I've been through a thing. And if I've been through a thing, I can show you how to come out of that thing that I've been through. Okay. So if you're ready to explore this option of healing and get a coach to help you on your healing journey, then make sure you either click the link in the video or click the link in my bio and let's do this work together. I want you to say in the comments, if you're ready to do the work, that the the years that was stolen to trauma will now be renewed because I made the decision to do the work. Okay? So put that in the comments. I love you guys, and I will see you guys on the next video. Talk to you guys later.